Now it begins.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's TheGamingSofa here, bringing you some Last of Us multiplayer gameplay. And as none of you may know, I've been anticipating The Last of Us ever since I saw the first trailer with the fungus and I found out it's going to be a PlayStation 3 exclusive. I was excited because you get 90% of the PlayStation 3 exclusives are amazing games. So easily, just from that one trailer, I'm excited. And then I saw the trailer at the VGAs and I found out it's being developed by Naughty Dog, and I consider Naughty Dog to be one of the most talented, if not the most talented, game developers out there on the scene right now. They brought us the Crash Bandicoot series, they brought us the Jak and Daxter series, and they even brought us the Uncharted series. So of course I'm going to be excited about The Last of Us. And then I found out that they're adding in multiplayer to The Last of Us. A lot of people were worried that the online might take away from the single player experience. A lot of people were worried that Naughty Dog was going to focus too much on the multiplayer, and because of it, the single player was gonna suffer. I, for one, though, I had full faith in Naughty Dog. From what they've shown in Uncharted 2 and Uncharted 3, they've shown that you can still have a cohesive package with a brilliant story mode and a really well-constructed multiplayer. So I had a full faith in Naughty Dog. I knew that they weren't going to screw it up, and I can tell you just right now that the multiplayer in this game is really well made. I love the multiplayer here. I've been playing it for a couple of hours now, maybe like 4 or 5 hours. So basically this is just going to be my first thoughts on this game, from what I think of the multiplayer from playing it about 4 or 5 hours. The single player, I'm probably about 7 or 8 hours in. I'm only about a quarter of the way done with the game, however, because I basically, whenever I enter a new map or a new area, I just go around looking for every square inch of that area, looking for items to craft my weapons with, because this game, you find items all over the map and then you craft your weapons with it, or you craft medical kits. So that's basically what I've been doing with this game. I've really been just looking through every single little small area of this map in order to get all the weapons. I'm a completionist, you could say. I've been looking for the Firefly dog tags as well, which that's basically the collectibles in this game. So that's that. And I have been I'm surprised that I've actually been taking that I've been spending a lot of time with the multiplayer. Usually when a game comes out, I usually just basically play the single player first, and then I actually start playing the multiplayer. But this game, I was playing a couple of hours into the Last of Us multiplayer. Sorry, into the Last of Us single player, and I really wanted to play the multiplayer. I was really curious about it, so I played it, and I've been addicted to this multiplayer. It's a really well made multiplayer, and I commend Naughty Dog for actually doing a good job on this and not screwing it up. So basically, my thoughts on the multiplayer, and I'll give out my thoughts on the single player once I'm actually done with the campaign. Probably on the once I'm done with my second playthrough, I'll give out my full-blown opinions on the single player. But as far as right now goes, I'm going to give out my thoughts on the multiplayer. And so the multiplayer, in a nutshell, it's not your conventional third-person shooter multiplayer. It's nothing like Uncharted 3. I can tell you that. It's nothing like the Uncharted Online. This is completely different. It's you have to take a different approach into this multiplayer than you do in Uncharted 3. And basically, starting off with the basics, there are only 2 game modes. That's probably the only con I have so far with the multiplayer. There are only 2 game modes. There's Supply Raid and Survivors. Now, the interesting thing about this online is that it kind of has its own story mode, really, that you control as soon as you jump into the multiplayer. You control your own faction, and a faction is basically kind of like, your group of survivors, and then you're the leader of them. Now, it's not really, they're the survivors. There aren't actually online people. It's not like you have your own clan. They're fictional people. They're people that, they just, like, it'll just say at the top right of the screen, it'll say 2 people joined your faction. And the way you grow your faction, basically the whole premise of the game is to continue growing up your faction, get more survivors into your group, and then keep them healthy, keep them alive, prevent them from dying. And the way you do this is that you win matches. You go into a match, you take all the supplies you can get, you get as many canned foods. At the bottom left corner of the screen, you can see that it has below the green, the green 150, there's a blue food can, and then it has the number. At the left, it has the number that I have right now, and on the right, it has the number that I need for the day in order for for everyone in my faction to be well fed, so they don't go hungry and they don't die. And what happens if you don't get enough canned foods in a match? Then some of your faction members might get sick, or they might die. And it'll really plummet. Let's say you have 71 and you don't get enough in one match, it'll probably plummet to like 55 or 60. It's a big plummet. But so that's interesting. That's basically what supply raid is that you go in and you look for items, you look for canned foods. That's what it is. You raid supplies. Would you look at that? And it really has its own story to it. Like right now, what I'm at right now is that apparently we're infiltrating an enemy camp right now, and we're looking for food here, and we found food, but right now we're just holding off bandits that are trying to take away the food. That's the story that I'm at right now. Believe it or not, supply raid for me, that's what it is right now. But the story changes, and they give out a different explanation on what you're doing. So that's definitely interesting right there. But that's not the reason why this multiplayer is so different from Uncharted 3. The reason why this multiplayer is so different is for the gameplay itself. Now, as you can tell from the gameplay that I'm showing, is that it's not, I'm always crouching, or everyone is always crouching. And because this game, it really takes a whole stealth approach on the game itself. You can't really go into this game just running and gunning it. You can, but you'll die instantly. So what the smart thing to do in this game is to always be crouching, always be looking over your shoulder, and always take cover and basically just camp out until you find someone, and then just shoot them from there. And what's cool is that you can actually craft items here. It really carries on a lot of its single player components. You'll be finding a lot of items. You'll find like scissors, you'll find like tape on the floor, you'll find bleach, and then you can use these items to either to craft bombs, make a shiv, and stuff like that. And basically a shiv, you can just go up behind someone and stab them, and you can instantly kill them. And then you can also craft medical kits, or if your health is down, you can use a medical kit to heal yourself. And you basically just craft a lot of items that'll help you. You'll make bombs, you'll make a Molotov, you'll make a gas bomb in which you can use to escape your enemies. And that's basically what it is, what the whole crafting thing is in this game. And it really gives you a different perspective on the game that you're playing. It really makes it feel like a different game entirely from Uncharted 3, because you approach this game in a more stealth approach. You don't actually just you don't actually run and gun it, which a lot of multiplayer games, basically that's all it is nowadays. A lot of multiplayer games, a lot of low budget multiplayer games, really it's just a running gun. It's not much. But Naughty Dog, they really took a different approach with The Last of Us multiplayer, and I'm really enjoying the approach that they took. And that's why I really consider Naughty Dog to be one of the most talented developers out there, because they actually take their time with their multiplayer. They don't want it to be just run of the mill, been there, done that kind of stuff. They always want to do something new, and that's what they did with The Last of Us multiplayer. So I'm excited to say that. And so that's that. The gameplay here is fantastic. I love the gameplay in this game, and I love how you actually have to use your brain a lot of times in the multiplayer. And I'm just really loving the multiplayer. So as far as the gameplay goes, it's fantastic. And I also forgot to mention that there's the second game mode. Again, there are only two game modes. It's Supply Raid and Survivors. The Survivors, the second game mode, and it's really it's nothing new. It's basically just elimination. It's a 4-on-4 match, and it's elimination. I think there are 4 rounds in each match. Not 4 rounds, but you have to win 4 rounds in order to claim victory. And it's basically it's a 4 versus 4, and you only have 1 life, and you have to win 4 rounds in order to claim victory. That's basically what it is. It's fun. It's a fun game mode. But I mean, I'm more of a Supply Raid guy. I would much rather play Supply Raid than Survivors. I'm not saying Survivors is a bad game mode, but I would just much rather play Supply Raid. Supply Raid is a lot more fun. So that's that. Those are my thoughts on the 2 game modes and the gameplay itself. Gameplay is fantastic. I love it. And the 2 game modes, they're really fun. Supply Raid is awesome, and then Survivors is it's a nice game mode as well. And now, as far as the customization and the gear, you can have loadouts in this game. And the loadouts basically, it really is just finding a weapon that really fits your playstyle. It's not like one weapon is stronger than the other. It's basically just get a weapon that really fits your playstyle, because all the weapons are used differently. Like, again, shotgun, close range, and then a burst rifle. It helps you out with long range and whatnot. So it really is just like find a weapon that really helps your playstyle. I think right now I'm using the semi-auto rifle as my secondary, and then a 9mm pistol as my primary weapon. And then you have some perks that you can use, I have Reviver, which basically it shortens the time that you need in order to revive one of your fallen comrades. And then covert training and strategist. I think strategist is that you can mark an enemy here, so whenever someone marks me, it tells me that you've been marked. And then covert trainer, I think that one is that you start off with a shiv. You start off with 1 shiv at the beginning of each game, so at the beginning of each spawn, so that's helpful. And yeah, basically that's what it is. You know, you can gear up and stuff like that. You can also customize your character, and it's not like, you know, full-blown customization. You can only customize you can only customize your hat, your mask, your helmet, and your gesture. And then you also have like an emblem, and the emblem thing is the exact same thing as the Uncharted 3 emblem thing, which the Uncharted 3 emblem was awesome. So of course, you know, there's no point in changing it. And you can actually, the emblem, that one weird little egg thing with a purple square thing or whatever, that's my emblem right there on my backpack. That's my emblem. You know, for obvious reasons, an egg. And you can also customize. You know, you can only customize your hat, your mask, and your helmet. And I mean, there are a lot of options. There are a lot of different hats that you can pick. There are a lot of different, you know, masks that you can pick, but it's not, you know, they're not really necessities. They're not really a thing that you're actually gonna see something you like and you're gonna be like, oh dude, I want that. So you know, it's not like you're actually gonna be playing for customization. But I mean, customization's a nice touch. I like that it's there. I don't really like it that much whenever a game doesn't have online customization, but you know, it's nice to have that little thing there. It's a nice little bonus. So far my thoughts on this game, I'm really loving The Last of Us. The single player is amazing. The multiplayer is really addicting and really well made. So at this point in time, I'd really just recommend this game to absolutely anybody out there that loves games. That's it for now, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and see ya.